Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Undisputed Nerds Strikes Again! I am your gentlemanly gamer and I am here with the captain, the legend, the myth, the man that is Zane Taicho. Say hello, Zane!
No. Good afternoon,
Guys,
good evening.
good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Guys, this is our supplementary bonus episode that we do every week that appears on our YouTube channel just for you on YouTube, where we discuss all of the week's hottest tips and bits from all kinds of different disciplines, be it comic book, be it film, be it televisual entertainment. So, Zane, would you like to describe to the people anything before we begin, or do you just want to go straight into this?
Describe anything.
I don't know, really. I it's a heat wave here. I'm dying. I lost the will to live. So, what do you want from me?
I shall describe this comic book on my desk. Look at it. It's nice and glossy.
You showed that off last week.
I know. It's within arm's reach to grab. Has some artwork inside and some text. Oh,
that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm reading. Look how bloody thick it is. That's what she said.
Now we're comparing. Hold on.
This one's next. And then look at this. Look at this. I got this for a £5 in a charity shop. He's not looking. A £5. A £5. It's Redux. Spider-Man Redux. For a £5. Who would have thought? They were just giving it away. £20 retail price on the back. This is the kind of startling entertainment that you're looking for on this channel, by the way, guys. Us just doing show and tell. I feel like I'm back in school. Yes.
I got Bendis's
I beg your pardon.
New Avengers.
Oh, that is shiny new, isn't it? Is it still in its seal?
Mm. It's sealed, hardcover.
Oh, that is delicious. I like that a lot.
Volume 1.
I like that a lot. That is very nice. Anyway.
And then last one. Supergirl.
Oh,
Woman of Tomorrow. By Tom King.
Oh, you do love a bit of Tom King, don't you?
I do.
He's one of your favourites. I do know that. So, guys, for those of you who are not familiar with what we do on this channel, like I said, we talk about all the hottest tips and bits of the week. So I give Zane a choice. We normally break it down into 3 areas because there's normally 3 main focuses that we talk about. So I split them up into DC, Marvel, and miscellaneous. Zane, we've got a bit of everything this week. So which do you want first? Marvel, DC, or Misk?
Can I opt for the Marvel? I'm going to shake things up this week.
He's really shaking it up, isn't he? All right. So, there has been, well, Zane, the Netflix shows, the Marvel Netflix shows. We all love them, don't we?
Yeah. Well, not all of them, but
yeah, we all love all of them. We can categorically agree that we all love all of them. So, obviously, when Disney bought Fox, and then the Netflix shows returned to the fold, as we are about to see with, Charlie Cox is now in the MCU, and obviously Vincent D'Onofrio is as well. Oh, sorry, spoilers. But what were your opinions on The Punisher, Zane? John Bernthal's Punisher?
I thought it was decent. Like, I never finished season 2.
Right. Well,
I love that interaction with him and Daredevil on the rooftop. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. Right. Well, the Claire Temple actress Rosario Dawson has been being interviewed recently, and somebody asked about the fact that she's an MCU alum in terms of the Netflix shows, and would she be in it? And then she said, just unexpectedly, when she was talking, I think this was in regards to an interview that she was doing about Star Wars, actually, but she just said completely out of the blue, she said that The Punisher was happening again. And she said, wow. I feel like it's my second chance because that's the only one of the shows I wasn't in, and I love John Bernthal, so let's all make it happen collectively, guys, yeah? basically she's angling on for a job on a show that hadn't happened yet. So obviously that sent the internet into meltdown because they were like, she's just revealed the Punisher's happening, blah, 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 blah. Then, a couple of days later, on Twitter, she sent out the following message. I can't be trusted. Getting intel from fans during signings is iffy, apparently. My bad. I got excited. Confirmation is key when you're told what you want to hear. So she's immediately backtracked on it, basically, Zane. So, question I have for you. John Bernthal's Punisher and the Punisher TV series. Is it happening? What do you think? What's the verdict?
I mean, it makes sense if it was. Especially, you know, this whole theory that we might be getting the Midnight Suns. And yeah, he was a fan favourite just as much as Charlie Cox's Daredevil. So, why not? Why not?
Exactly. Why not? Indeed. Anyway, yeah, I want to see the Punisher back. I think Bernthal was amazing as him, and I would love to see him return. But whether he will or not, I don't know. So moving on, I've classified this as Marvel news, but it's technically not really Marvel news. So I apologise, fans out there. I've kind of misled you. But Matt Smith, Morbius star. He's been back, but he's actually been talking this week about Doctor Who. So he was interviewed for Rolling Stone magazine, and obviously he instantly became a household name playing the Doctor.
Absolutely.
But he revealed there was some reservations to him about playing the Doctor, and I'll just read this out.
Okay.
I'll cut out the swearing. I was turning up to work going, I can't do this. I used to phone my dad going, I can't do this. And he'd be like, come on, get your head down. You can. The show is such a jewel in the BBC crown and has such a global appeal. If it doesn't work and you're at the centre of it, then there's nowhere to hide. I remember walking down the street around that time and someone shouting, don't break Doctor Who. He's also went on to describe the series as effing brilliant. He also went on to say that Ncuti Gatwa, becoming the latest actor to join the iconic and historic sci-fi franchise, is going to be fabulous. Called David Tennant the seminal Doctor. Also dropped a hint that he may be returning. They were asking him apparently about, what's happening after the Game of Thrones sequel and that kind of thing, and whether or not a possible return might be there. And he's written... he said, maybe if it was the right script. I mean, I don't know if I've got too old now. It would have to be really right. So, 2 questions from that. Do you agree with him that you think Ncuti Gatwa is going to be amazing as Doctor Who? And secondly, would you like to see him back as 11? Based on your hairstyle, I'm going to say yes.
I think they are going to kill the new role. Plus, it feels like a rejuvenation that needed to happen, especially with Russell T Davies. I don't know how some people call him Davies, not Davis.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I think it is Davies. It's spelled Davies, but a lot of people just kind of it rolls off the tongue if you say Davis.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of his Welsh heritage.
Oh, it could be that actually. Yeah,
Davies. But I'm excited for the new series. In terms of Matt Smith coming back, it's been long tradition, hasn't it, that when it comes to an anniversary or something significant, that you get as many as the old Doctors to come back to celebrate. So in previous years, we've had the 3 Doctors, the 5 Doctors. For the 50th, we got Tennant and Matt Smith.
And John Hurt.
John Hurt, yes. And
technically, we got back. Oh God, 8. The 8th Doctor. What's his name? Paul McGann.
Tom Baker.
Paul McGann. We technically got to Paul McGann because he was in that short where he regenerates into John Hurt. So we technically got him back as well. But that was all there was at that time. Capaldi was in it, very brief, just his eyebrows. were in it very briefly.
Just his angry eyebrows.
Yeah, just his angry eyebrows. He'd just been announced, so like he was in it very briefly, but not properly. So yeah, I think they'll do. I would not be surprised. The 60th anniversary, depending on the relationship that he has with Russell T Davies, I really am expecting Christopher Eccleston to turn up. I really think he'll be back, because he's been much more open to Doctor Who projects recently with the whole audiobooks and stuff like that. So I genuinely think he'll be back. And then I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Smith pops up. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
It's the role that made him, so I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, I agree with him. I think Kuti Gatwa is going to be incredible as Doctor Who. I am very excited to see it. So that was all the Marvel news I had this week. Keep it short and sweet. So do you want? Let's do miscellaneous next. Actually, Zane, I'm going to take the choice out of your hands. Let's do miscellaneous because we've got a lot of DC news to go through, my friend. Again, second week in a row.
Just before you go on to miscellaneous, can we talk about the stuff where I can't remember the actor's name, but he's in Breaking Bad, and he says that he wants to play Professor X? Oh,
Giancarlo Esposito wants to play. Yes, okay. So you and I. Okay, so for those of you who are not aware, there was an interview this week where he was on stage at some kind of con. I can't remember what it was. Whether it was a fan fest or something, and they were talking. The topic of conversation came about Marvel and whether or not he'd ever been approached to be in Marvel, because you know he makes such a good bad guy, and he's obviously been in Star Wars, and he confirmed that he has been in conversations with Marvel, and yes, he has. And there's a character that he wants to play, and he said that he shouldn't say, but he said he wants to play Professor X. Now, you and I had this conversation, and you were like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool." And I was like, "I think it's a red herring," and I think the reason why it's a red herring is, number one, if you're up for that kind of role, I'm sorry, Marvel do not like you talking about those kind of things out loud, unless, especially if you've met with them already. Because if you've met with them already, they're like, hush, hush, don't talk about this because we don't want anyone to know who we're casting for or whatever. So that's the first thing. Yeah. Second thing, he very specifically said, I'm putting it out there in the universe, as in like, this isn't actually happening, but let's just make some fanfare about it and say maybe it will happen, right? Yeah. I think after you and I have been talking about for a long time that like the perfect person to play a certain character would have been Mads Mikkelsen, and we've talked about that for a long time. But he's already been cast as Caecilius, and then the penny dropped for me. It's like he should be Victor Von Doom, because it would be unbelievably good if he was Doom. Like, and they do a different take on him, you know, because he doesn't need to be. I mean, he's I believe Giancarlo Esposito has Mexican roots, but you could quite easily, they could quite easily change Latveria to be, you know, because it's supposed to be a European nation. He speaks fluent Spanish. I mean, they could very easily make it more of a, you know, like a Spaniard kind of like vibe to it instead of like a European vibe. Sorry, like you know, an East European vibe. There's a lot of things they could do with that. He's incredible, and he's a fantastic bad guy. And he's one of those people where you look at him and he doesn't need to shout to come across as insanely powerful. You know, you look at his performances in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. The Boys is another good example of it, where he doesn't do anything spectacular, and he's the most menacing man in the room. And that is exactly what Doom should be. That's exactly what Victor Von Doom should be. So I really hope that it's actually a red herring, him going for Professor. I mean, I'm sure he'd be great as Professor X, but like, I want him to go for a baddie. I want them to do a proper baddie and build it around him, because he should be a big bad.
I can see where you're coming from. I can see, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, I wouldn't mind him being Professor X, and the reason being is there's been a lot of conversations in the community and like sort of comparisons made to real life people, and one of those real life people is Professor X having sort of similar morals to Dr. Martin Luther King, and then having Magneto as the Malcolm X sort of figure, using, not necessarily using violence, but do you know what I mean? A more aggressive approach,
a more aggressive
about
way.
The acceptance of mutants. And in recent years, months, whatever you want to say, there's been a lot of comparisons to those figures, and comparing them to those sort of comic book counterparts. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were kind of playing to that, if you know what I mean.
I think so. I mean, the idea. I mean, it's a good comparison with Martin Luther King. I think that it is literally Xavier's dream to have all peoples unified, and the whole idea behind the X-Men was they are a minority group who are persecuted for being different, much in the same way that you get black people have been persecuted for being looking different from white people, which is ridiculous. It's an absolute ridiculous thing, and gay people get persecuted for being different. But what who's saying what's different? I think either way, Professor X and Doom traditionally are white characters in the books, and I think it would be, I think it's a good thing that we are breaking down those kind of race and gender barriers in regards to who you cast, and it's less about we're going to cast this guy because he's white, we're going to cast this guy because he's black, and it's more about we're going to cast this guy because he's an incredible actor, and that is a good thing. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's that got really deep really quickly, didn't it?
I know, yeah, for us especially.
Yeah, geez, honestly, light-hearted, folks, light entertainment. That's what we're here for. Yeah, I would love to see Giancarlo Esposito in the Marvel universe. He's incredible. Like, he is incredible. It's interesting the correlation between Star Wars and Marvel at the moment. Do you know who else I thought of the other day actually for Doctor Doom? It's a bit difficult because he's already been in a cloak and he's kind of stereotyped himself. Adam Driver.
Yes, yeah, I can see that.
Kylo Ren. If they're younger, I could.
Do you not feel like it'd be a retread of maybe Toby? Can't think of his surname now. In the Josh Trank book.
What was that? What film is this you're talking about?
It's called Fan4tastic.
Oh, Fan4tastic. Yes, that one. Oh, yes, that non-related Fantastic Four movie that was awful. I remember it now. Yeah, let's move on before I vomit.
Let's move on. Let's go.
All right. So we're going to do miscellaneous. So, Zane, this bit of news is it's Titans. It's Titan time, Zane. We've had Titan time, right? We've had such legendary battles over the years. If you think about big cinematic battles, you think Batman versus Superman, don't you? You think Iron Man versus Cap. You think Godzilla versus Kong. But I bet the fight that you never thought that you'd see coming is Sonic the Hedgehog versus Avatar. Well, it's happening, baby. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is slated for a Christmas 2024 release, set for a showdown with Avatar 3. The Titans are locking horns. James Cameron's going to get down and dirty with Knuckles. Yes, Sony have announced that it's going to be released in 2024 over the Christmas weekend. Paramount. Oh, sorry, it's Paramount. Sonic the Hedgehog. It was Paramount. My apologies. And then Disney is expected to launch Avatar 3 on the same day because obviously Disney now owns it after the Fox buyout, which is bizarre. Anyway, Sonic's confirmed. The third one's coming. Who do you think is going to be in it, and are you excited for Sonic versus James Cameron finally?
Wow, the stones on Paramount to be like, we're dropping it this day, the exact same day.
Yeah,
the stones on them. To be fair, like, Sonic's been a sleeper hit for the first 2 movies.
I know, right?
My brother texts me about this because he's a huge Sega fan. and he texted me about, that the third one had been confirmed and such. And he said it's really weird in a time where Marvel is now seen, certain parts of Marvel is seen as mid after Phase 4.
Yeah.
And DC just seems to be in a shambles. It's weird that the one franchise to reign supreme after a pandemic is a Sonic franchise.
I don't think Marvel's necessarily in mid territory, but yes, I agree. Some of the movies were like, I think Eternals is definitely mid. I don't think you can say that of Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange, really. But it's fine. Some people would disagree with the Doctor Strange thing, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. I still haven't seen the second one yet, so I need to catch up on that. But
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have kids, and I don't have an anime podcast, so.
We didn't even cover it on that.
Oh, there you go. No, I'm only messing. I'm not saying. I'm only joking. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to see. It'll be good to see Sonic kick James Cameron's buttocks.
I think we need to start a campaign so everyone goes to the Sonic movie and not to Avatar.
My God, that would be amazing.
Send a message to Hollywood.
Yes, stop making Avatar movies. Right, this one's going to be good for you. So, I know you're excited for it, Zane. I know. Just stay in your seat for this because I know it's gonna get you off your feet. I know it is. So,
oh wow. Okay.
I'll
retain myself.
The Walking Dead's finishing soon. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Now,
okay. Yeah.
Now they've already announced that there's going to be more spin-offs coming. They've announced Tales of the Walking Dead, which Terry Crews has just been cast in. They're doing...
Terry Crews?
Yeah, Terry Crews is going to be one of the episodes of Tales of the Walking Dead. They're doing a limited series with Andrew Lincoln and Danny Guerrero. They're doing a spin-off show, apparently, with Maggie and Negan. So they've done a lot of spin-off shows. So I bet the one thing that you weren't expecting was for them to announce another spin-off show. But they've just announced they're going to do another spin-off show, Zane. So this spin-off show, brace yourself for this one. This one's a good one. So apparently...
Okay.
Walking Dead spin-off starring Norman Reedus' Daryl. We'll see... Hold on to your hat. We'll see Norman Reedus fighting running zombies in France.
What?
Here's the producer who gave this interview via fearhq.com. Daryl is a fish out of water to start with. If Daryl finds himself with new people, he's a fish out of water. In France, in a country that's going through the apocalypse, it's an entirely different thing. He finds himself having to reinvent himself again, having to find himself again, and also not being with, probably, the only people in the world he's comfortable with. So, Daryl spin-off is coming to AMC. The Walking Dead marches on, undead as ever. What are your thoughts on this one, Zane? I can see how excited you are.
What a bizarre choice to make. Could you imagine being in that pitch room to be like, okay. So, imagine Daryl on his bike with his crossbow, but in Paris.
In gay Paris, oui.
Paris.
I can't wait.
He's fighting them off, climbing up the Alton Tower, shooting them.
After how deep we went with the last thing about Giancarlo Esposito, I'm about to take it even more lighthearted. He's fit right in. He's adhering to all the stereotypes. He's got a baguette. He's got garlic around his neck. He's riding a bike in a blue and white striped shirt. He's got a beret on, exactly. Naked from the waist down. Yeah, he's doing all the French things. Yes.
Changed his name to Jean-Paul.
Apologies to our listeners in France. Yes. Anyway, I think it's safe to say we are a little bit nonplussed about another Walking Dead spin-off show, but hey, they're going for it. Why not? So, that's all the misc I had. So, are you ready for DC?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
First story is not a funny story. It's a quite serious story, and it's a question to you as to why the hell is it still happening. The Flash star Ezra Miller has now been charged with felony burglary in Vermont. He may wind up behind bars. He's been formally charged.
They
may wind up behind bars. But he's officially been charged with this crime. It's according to Variety and the police report. I'm not going to go into details of it. All I'm going to ask you, Zane, is this is another one, and this is a felony that he's committed now. How much longer are they going to stick with them as the Flash, really?
I have no idea. Like, as a studio, they can only... I can't even imagine. Like, we've often talked about, would they do reshoots? Would they, what could they do to salvage this $900 million project? And
just can it
at the moment? I don't even. It may have to be a complete write-off at this.
Yeah, possibly. It depends. It's just unbelievable. Like, this guy, he obviously needs a lot of help. They need a lot of help. Sorry, I should say. He's obviously a very messed up individual, and it's sad. And I think the sooner he gets recast, the better on this one. Not just for the sake of the franchise, but also for himself, because it sounds like the pressure of fame is really not having a good effect on him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more to say, to be honest with you.
I agree. I can only hope that they get the help that they need, and I'm just hoping that this will lead to a path of recovery and not any more sort of destruction, or any other sort of incriminating escapades.
I think, we've laughed and joked on the show about Ezra, and I've had a laugh at in the past around the stuff. But the more it goes on, the more it's very obvious that they have a serious problem and they need to get help. So get help. And not that you're going to ever listen to this, but get help. So moving on. Well, obviously, Batgirl was very recently cancelled canned, I should say, by DC Films. So with Discovery, obviously, doing snip cuts all throughout the corporate world of DC, it's made some people concerned about certain projects that were on the books. Well, TV Line had an interview with a HBO Max representative regarding the Green Lantern HBO Max series that was slated for production. Well, this Max representative has allayed those fears by saying the series is very much alive and definitely moving forward, but it probably won't hit our screens until 2024. So as of recording now, that's 2 years away. Also goes on to say that there's a lot of things that have been kind of revealed as well. Black Canary movie is apparently still in active development as well, because there was a lot of questions about what things would get cancelled and what things weren't going to get cancelled off the back of Batgirl. So the Green Lantern HBO Max series is still going ahead. What are your thoughts on it, Zane? Are you excited?
Ooh, great question.
No.
Yeah, I really like the Green Lantern sort of side of the DC universe. Admittedly, I've only read a handful of Green Lantern comics, but I've always enjoyed the animated stuff. So, of course, Justice League Unlimited, but the sort of CG show, I don't know if you ever saw it, that had one series with Cartoon Network and then sadly got canned. I really enjoyed that, and that was really cool. But and some of the movies, the animated movies, some of those are really First Flight.
First Flight is good. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah. And obviously that amazing Ryan Reynolds film. No, I know what you mean. I'm joking. No, you're right. There are some really good. There's some really good DC. Some Green Lantern stuff out there. I mean, as far as runs are concerned, I've lost touch with Green Lantern a lot because I haven't read a lot of the recent trades. but like I read it from like 2007, 2006, 2007 until probably 2016, like about 10 years worth of a run. When Jeff Johns was lead writer on it, and it was amazing, man. Like the War of Light and the Blackest Night and Brightest Day is some of the best comic book storytelling that I've read. I adore it. I absolutely adore it. I will talk to anyone about it. I need to reread it, actually. I've got the whole run just over there, just staring at me, just teasing me, Zane. Teasing me it is. I'm happy to see this. I think it depends on a number of kind of things. If they're going to focus on which Lantern are they going to focus on? Are they going to focus on Hal Jordan? Are they going to go for Jon Stewart? They're going to do Simon Baz and like do a complete,
Well, we heard like Guy Gardner got cast.
He did. That doesn't necessarily mean that because Guy is normally a ancillary lantern that just kind of like floats around, and he gets kind of made one of the core four of Earth, like with Kyle and Hal and John later on. But yeah, ironically enough, the most interesting stuff with Guy Gardner is when he's not a Green Lantern, but when he's a Red Lantern.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when he's constantly struggling with whether or not...
Or on a team.
Yeah, whether he's constantly struggling with whether or not he should be a good guy or a bad guy, and, the rage is just overtaking him. It's he's much more interesting when he's, like, spitting plasma everywhere. But yeah, no, it's cool. There's an amazing piece of artwork from that where he's got, like... Because obviously, there's... The rings change your appearance. You can change your appearance based on what it is. And like there's a piece of artwork from one of the books, I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be War of the Lanterns, where he's got the red ring and the green ring on at the same time, and like his outfit is like split down the middle, and it looks so good. I was like, that's amazing. I always wanted to get one of those Guy Gardner those like varsity jackets that he's got, but the Green Lantern varsity jacket. Yeah, I always wanted to get one of those. Ones. I always love that. Anyway, I'm happy Green Lantern's coming. I just hope they do it justice. Honestly, I hope they pick a good story as well. Mm-hmm. That's the main. And don't rush it. They need to not rush straight into Blackest Night because it won't work. You need to build to that. That is a big thing that needs to be built to.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So we've got two more stories revolving around DC.
Okay.
So Henry Cavill. A lot of people were expecting him to turn up at Comic-Con, and he didn't. He didn't. And everyone is wondering what the hell is going on with Henry Cavill. Well, according to Fandango's Eric Davis, there's been some communication inside DC to say that he is not coming back.
No.
So this is a direct quote. I've heard a story that Warner Brothers has asked Henry Cavill to return, and he doesn't want to do it. He just does not want to come back. So he's since clarified his comments, and there apparently may be some interest from Cavill, but it's not guaranteed. So we're still in this awkward space of like, is Henry Cavill interested? Is he not interested? Is DC interested in bringing it back? Is DC not interested in bringing it back? At this stage in time, with everything that's going on and with Flashpoint imminent, do you think they should recast or should they drag Cavill back?
Drag him back. I guess it's an interesting take though, isn't it? Like all this time we've been, saying like, what's DC playing at? What Warner Brothers playing at? Bring Cavill back. Where it could be that he's not interested anymore. I mean, for him, dare I say, it's been like nearly 10 years since Man of Steel.
It has been, hasn't it? It was 2012.
And we know, was it 2012, 2013?
It was 2012. I don't know. Let me have a look.
But,
oh, you're right. It is 2013. My bad.
So, yeah, it's nearly been 10 years. I want to say he was 34 as well at that time.
Yep.
So, either way, like his passions and such has moved on since, because we know how much he's enjoying doing The Witcher. I know he of course he's done Mission Impossible, but I think he's done another movie, an espionage movie with Netflix as well. So he could be, wanting to branch out more than the whole superhero genre.
Yeah, there is a discussion to be had about typecasting. You don't want to get stuck as one character too long. Christopher Reeve ran into that problem. He was Superman. Nobody else could tell you any different. He was the Superman. So, yeah, I can understand where Cavill's coming from. It's a tricky thing. I personally would love to see him come back. I don't think he got enough of a fair shout in the DCEU. I think he was and is an excellent Superman. And I think he does understand the character. To have that earnestness and strength at the same time is a core facet of Superman, and I think he had it in spades. And I think it's really depressing that his Superman, it always felt hopeful when he was on screen, even in the Snyderverse, which was devoid of all hope, it seemed. I hope he comes back. I really do. But also I can equally understand and respect his decision if he doesn't. So, speaking of decisions and big changes are coming to the DCEU. But whether or not they'll be a good thing remains to be seen. So the final bit of news that we've got to talk about this week is the Hollywood Reporter has shared some very interesting details about what was in store for the comic book universe prior to Warner Brothers being bought by Discovery. I'm going to read this out. Multiple insiders tell the trade that members of the film division are and that includes DC Film President Walter Hamada, which we talked about last week. He's thinking of leaving. Apparently, Black Adam arrives in the theaters this October, and the movie is now said to have a new post-credit scene introducing a new element to Johnson's place in the DC universe. So that's Dwayne Johnson's place in the DC universe. Okay. Hamada was planning to release 3 to 4 DC movies a year, including Secret Six, a movie about a villainous team who have typically been portrayed as rivals to the Suicide Squad in the comics. Brace yourself for this one. Also in the works was a Crisis on Infinite Earths event picture, presumably bringing together multiple franchises and actors ahead of a line-wide reboot. Among the other projects that development is said to have slowed on are Green Lantern Corps, which we just talked about, Supergirl, Static Shock, and J.J. Abrams' new Superman movie, which was the one where it was going to be Michael B. Jordan, I believe, as not Kal-El, the Superman, or whatever. I can't remember what the other guy's name is.
Ellis. Carl. Ellis something.
For the Flash, controversial star Ezra Miller is said to have participated in reshoots over the summer, and while there's no indication that it will move from its current June 2023 release date, insiders say that the studio is evaluating all options. But the big news here is that Crisis on Infinite Earths rumors were true. And seeing as the CW has already done its own take on the story, we can't help but wonder what the movie would have looked like. Ben Affleck is sticking around. You'd have to believe, if nothing else, we'd have seen him teaming up with Keaton's Dark Knight. Whether the crossover will be part of Zaslav's new 10-year plan remains to be seen. Thoughts and feelings, Zane, on the fact that they were going to do a reboot with Crisis on Infinite Earth? I think it was needed, personally. And what are your feelings about this moving forward? Does this spell more doom for the DC universe?
The Crisis, like you said, it was needed. It would have been great to have a big DC movie to kind of like get behind, if you know what I mean. Because here we are, like Justice League was Justice League.
Educational.
It'd be nice to just have a mass educational. Mistakes will learn. But it'd be nice to just have a huge sort of DC movie to kind of get behind and kind of amp fans up. I'm really gutted about the Static Shock announcement, because there was two projects. There was a live action and there was an animated static shot in the works. Oh man,
yeah, it's all slowed apparently, all ground to a halt. So yeah, I don't know. I think what's happened is a good thing. I think Zaslav's 10-year plan is a good thing, and I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
You know what comes from the DC universe moving forward. Very interested to see what that our credits sting is with Dwayne Johnson. I feel like they are positioning the DC universe to be. He's going to be one of the tent poles at which they build around, similar to Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Isn't it weird as well that? Oh my god! I just had this crazy thought. Like the only sort of two DC, if they're going to rebuild the universe around them, is sort of two Superman analogs that aren't
I know.
Shazam and Black Adam.
They won't build it around Shazam. As much as I love Zachary Levi, he doesn't have the charisma of The Rock. Like, he just doesn't. And if they want to, I said this, I think, was it last week or the week before, about Downey Jr. and the fact that they had a star that they could build stuff around. They can build it around Dwayne Johnson. Like, he is easily as charismatic as Downey Jr. I'm not saying he's as good an actor as Downey Jr. I'm not saying that for anyone who's out there who's saying it, but from a star presence point of view and persona point of view, he's easily someone who you can launch a franchise around, like, and has saved several franchises just from being involved in them. So as long as he's still willing, to kind of push forward, there's no reason why they couldn't build around him. Is Black Adam the right character to build an entire franchise around? That's a question for another day. I don't know. But I will say Marvel have had a lot of success in adapting characters from the comics into cinema and not adhering to the script. Mm-hmm. So why couldn't DC do that as well?
I suppose it's not a bad move, considering we live in a day and age where people like the idea of a bad Superman. Like, Omni-Man, Homelander, people love.
They love bad boys. Characters. They love those bad boys. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's all the news I have from this week. So who's your favourite bad boy out there, guys? Get in touch with us and let us know. Zane, how can they reach us?
You can, of course, get in touch on all our social media platforms at undisputed_nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a Facebook page. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to the YouTube video. Let us know in the comments. If you're unsure, just put an emoji in the comments.
Just do it.
It just helps with the video.
Just do it. Flood us with emojis. We love it. Not if you're a bot. Yeah. Stay away if you're a bot.
All relevant links will be in the description.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for listening and watching, guys. I hope you enjoy these shows on YouTube. Just a little extra accoutrement that we do to our regular podcast, which you can check out every week. And yeah, be back next week for more. Have a good week and stay safe. Stay safe out there, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.